my father owned a business, a leather business. They made him the manager and they gave him a little paycheck. Okay? It just, you know, we had to live under communism, but we had no choice in the matter. There was nothing we could do, and we did. And then, of course, as the Nazis started to invade Poland, and they invaded like Western Poland. So, but our folks were really in denial. They didn't believe that anything will happen to our people, because we're so secluded, we're in no one's way, we're a religious community, never any crime there. Nobody knows about us, hardly. Why would they come? They have more important business to attend to. At the same time, you know, my father was pretty cautious and pretty clever, I think. He had a brain store. And he thought to himself, just in case it's true that the Germans might come and kill us, he's going to build a hiding place for his family. We had a shed in the back of our house. It was long and narrow. And he went and bought plywood. And he built a false wall. Otherwise, from one end of the wall to the other. Wide enough for a person to stand up, but a little extra space. In addition to that, he went with an adult cousin of his into the forest, and they dug 2 bunkers. So should we survive in the wall, we'll have a place to hide in the forest. And before you knew it, the Germans invaded eastern Poland, which is the Ukraine now. And one day they surrounded our town. They and many enablers from surrounding villages who helped them. And they knocked on our doors and they told us we have to leave our homes. So everybody packed a little bundle and left. And we were escorted with rifles. And we were escorted to a park near the forest. And we were told to sit there and wait for further instructions. Now, I left the house with my grandmother, my father's mother, because we were the closest to the door. I didn't look back. First of all, you were under rifles, you know, you weren't allowed to look back even. And I didn't know where my parents were or my brothers. But we kept marching with the rest of the people. And we came there and we sat down. And I was sitting there and looking out for my parents and my 2 brothers to come forward, and I didn't see them coming. And I became very anxious and nervous and wondering what happened to them. So I told my grandmother, you watch the bundles. Big deal. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to try and run in the opposite direction. If they kill me, they kill me. And I'm going to look for my parents. I'm going to look for the family. See what happened to them. Well, I was very tiny and frisky and quick on my feet, and I wiggled my way through somehow, close to the ground. And I came back to the house, and I looked and called out for them, and there was no response. There was no one there. And I remember the wall. But my father never told me where it was, because they didn't want to tell the children. We might tell the entire town. And there was no room for everybody. But I knew there was a hiding place there. So when I didn't find anyone in the house, I remembered the wall. And I walked into the shed and I identified myself. And I said, I ran away from the ghetto, I called it, because I didn't see you coming. And I was concerned. Are you on the wall by any chance? And if you are, why don't you let me in also? And there was no response. And the reason for it is because they thought that someone had followed me. And if so, there were 15 people in the wall. they would have all gotten killed. So it was better to sacrifice a little girl as opposed to 15 people. It's rational thinking, I think. Well, I got very upset. I started to cry and beg and plead, and I said, I also want to live, you know. And then I thought of assuring them that no one followed me. I thought of it. And once I said that, I promise you, no one followed me. I'm here alone. Please, please let me in. A little door in the corner of the wall opened up and an arm reached out. I grabbed the arm and they pulled me inside. And it was my older brother who pulled me in.